just a couple of very quick housekeeping points. Today's session will be recorded. We will have an opportunity for questions. So for those that are familiar with Zoom, please do ask them throughout using the Q&A option rather than the chat, and I'll pick those up at the end. There will be a follow-up session on today's topic. For those that want a deeper dive, invites will follow this event. As always, we're going to keep it to 30 minutes, so it's nice and short and ready for you to digest. So onto our main event. I'm Ian Bowden, tax partner, head of BDO's Tax Automation Group. The purpose of this series is to help you explore the art of the possible. We wanted to run the series to help raise awareness of the great options that are available to help with everyday tasks, helping you find a better way to stay compliant and making your everyday lives easier. The theory behind this is we pick a different topic each month and we have some special guests so you don't have to hear from me all the time. So far, we've covered a new VAT offering, a corporate tax solution, and a brand new transfer pricing offering. So please do check out those videos if you missed any of those. Today's session is another really interesting one for me as we hear from a vendor that hopefully most of you have heard of, but perhaps not aware of everything that they offer and everything that they do. So Thomson Reuters has been one of the market leaders in the tax technology software game for quite some time. And I'm really excited this morning that they're going to take us through their latest release of their stat accounts preparation tool. And more importantly, how that kind of connects to their wider product suite. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Bryony and Jigna, who are going to introduce us to their platform. Thank you both very much for joining. As always, before we get to Bryony and Jigna, with these sessions, we do like to provide a very quick market view on today's topic, which is an area where many of you are probably still using Word and Excel. So joining me this morning to discuss all things statutory financial statements is Matt Balls. He leads our team helping clients select the right stat account solution and helps implement them. So Matt, over to you.
Thanks, Ian, and good morning, everyone. Ian, perhaps if you can just tell me if you can hear me.
I can. You're perfect.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay, so as Ian mentioned, a quick market overview. So over the last 10 years, we've seen a general acceptance that producing statutory financial statements in a combination of Excel and Word is suboptimal, and that there are efficiencies and improved accuracy that can be achieved by automating production in a dedicated technology. And whilst the market for technology at the smaller end, so the sort of small to mid-sized corporates, has seen a lot of change, the key players in the mid to large corporate market hasn't changed greatly. At that lower end or smaller client end, we've seen new entrants like Xero and FreshBooks having joined QuickBooks, Sage and others, whilst in the mid to large corporate market, this remains dominated by Thomson Reuters, who join us today, Caseware, and perhaps to a slightly lesser degree, CCH and Workiva. And there are several factors, though, that have changed amongst those technologies. First, the way that these technologies are used and made available is now very different. These products are now available in the cloud, where previously they were only available on premise. Secondly, and because of that cloud availability, these products are better able to integrate with other technology. And thirdly, the features that make these products easier to use have greatly improved. So we've got things like language translation, statutory gap content available for multiple jurisdictions, improved audit trail, and other features. But fourthly, where we are on that kind of theoretical average model business cycle has changed. So things have swung back in the direction of insourcing. So where maybe 10 years ago, there was a big trend to outsource, it's now coming back the other way, and we're getting to a position of a sort of mixed hybrid model. And this is evidenced by that greater number of shared service centers that the businesses we work with have today. So the global financial reporting landscape requires businesses to prepare statutory reporting obligations quickly and accurately, but requirements still vary widely from country to country, despite IFRS and that sort of exercise to try and standardize. This, combined with the improvements to technology, have brought many more businesses to the tipping point where acquisition of technology is now happening. So how can we at BDO help? Well, we ourselves, and specifically our global outsourcing team, prepare statutory financial statements using dedicated technology for our own client base. We license both the OneSource statutory reporting and Caseware products, and we use both depending on the fact pattern of the client that we're working with. But where clients prefer not to outsource, so have opted for that hybrid model, we are certified implementers of statutory reporting technology, and we currently have a number of ongoing multi-territory implementations in process. We work closely with the major software vendors to ensure that our clients receive the best implementation experience and the most appropriate technology. Thanks, Ian. I think it's over to the Thomson Reuters guys.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Bryony, over to you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you very much to Ian and Matt and the team at BDO for inviting us to present today. As they've explained, we'd like to talk to you today about one-source stat reporting. But to set the scene, we'd like to highlight some of the challenges we see with our customers across their current compliance processes. Matt has alluded to some of these already. Introduce you to our one-source platform, which underpins our suite of one-source products, and how this drives an efficient use of data with the connectivity across the platform. Going to talk through a quick customer use case so you can see firsthand how that platform is being used, and then tell you more about one-source stat reporting. So what challenges are the tax and finance teams facing? Jigna.
So expanding digitalization of the global economy has actually created an ever-changing, increasing complex businesses and regulatory environment. The rules, regulations are constantly changing. Now, this could be for your annual financial report filings or additional tax requirements, for example, global minimum tax. And this applies to each of the jurisdictions where you have the clients have their global footprint. The finance team members are spending a lot of time in identifying what those changes are and how those applies to the organization. Teams, they need to collect, review, reconcile, organize enormous amount of data from various different source systems. At times could be multiple ERP systems due to acquisition or business units who are often located around the world. All of this work is done manually using heavy spreadsheets, and at times, due to the poor data quality, the process is also very inefficient. Now, if this data isn't provided in the accurate and timely manner, the tax finance teams have a tougher time doing their jobs.
And as well as all the data and reporting type requirements that Jigna has just flagged, businesses are facing other broader issues, such as reducing costs, particularly in the environment we currently find ourselves in, and keeping hold of good staff, that talent retention issue, in a working environment that has changed dramatically over the past couple of years. And where there is so much data and changing requirements, but also the manual processes, there is a general lack of oversight and governance. Now, we see businesses looking at how they can improve their processes and introduce technology to help them as part of that process improvement, often with the assistance of advisors such as BDO, who have the experience to guide them. So looking at the one-source technology, you can see there in that central column the various compliance functions that we cover, and statutory reporting that's highlighted there. We'll come on to that in a moment. Being compliant, whether it's for regulatory updates to statutory reporting, filing your tax returns, or the new Pillar 2 requirements, it's what OneSource does. It's the bread and butter of OneSource delivers for our customer base. What then separates us in the market is our approach to connectivity across our OneSource platform. Now, we recognise that for finance teams and tax teams to be as efficient as possible, they need to utilise data across the processes effectively. So as an example, we have provided a direct integration between statutory reporting and corporate tax. So the stat numbers can be uploaded directly into the tax computation. But connectivity isn't just required across our OneSource platform. We're making sure that this platform, our systems, can interact effectively with your systems, other tools and applications probably provided by a third party, where you will need to push data from one to another that's part of your overall workflow. So as an example, uploading data from your ERP system into the statutory reporting. Now, we recognise that your needs are going to be very individual, and so the way we're addressing this is to open our systems through APIs, as Jigna will explain.
So APIs are actively been introduced across a suite of OneSource solutions, and these are all available on our developer portal. You can see over here the list of OneSource solutions on the screen. All our OneSource products are built with APIs first, and these are all open APIs, providing you with improved data accessibility, process automation opportunities, and ability to establish fully seamless end-to-end tax workflows. Now, for example, over here, if I select OneSource statutory reporting solution and then go to browse content, it will show you the list of APIs available and also the document on how you can use this. So what I'll do is I'll go through one of the client's use case who is actually using our OneSource platform to automate its preparation of the financial statements, corporate tax returns, and tax provision process by using the integration and the APIs. Now, starting from the left, some information is flowing directly, first of all, from their ERP system, and then some of the information needs data manipulation. Hence, this client has been using old tricks. And then by using out-of-the-box connector, they're bringing the data, which sits centrally on a platform within the OneSource Data Hub. Over here, the information is validated, enriched, and stored so that it can be used and reused as required. Now, once the accounts over here, by using the statutory reporting tool, once the accounts are produced, adjustments, whatever has been posted, feeds back into the Data Hub, in addition to the other data which has been collected from various different stakeholders. These two data have been put together into a collection, and then it's been used at the end for the tax compliance process. So now you can see that by using our cloud-based OneSource platform, the whole of the tax compliance process has been automated. So now let's look at our OneSource platform. So OneSource is a pure cloud solution and can be accessed by a single sign-on. Now this is a landing page where each of the tiles denotes one of our OneSource solution. Today, we will only be focusing on OneSource statutory reporting solution.
Thanks, Jigna. So with OneSource statutory reporting, we provide compliant content for over 45 jurisdictions. So regardless of which country you're producing the accounts for, the process for doing this is standardized. You roll forward your accounts, you bring in your TB data, and you bring in other disclosure information. But it is all on the one platform. So the process for every set of accounts is the same, even though the content for each jurisdiction may be different. Particularly to support the shared service centres, we have language translation. This doesn't just translate the report, but the user interface as well, so that those who do not have local language skills, literally at the press of the button, can prepare those accounts in English and then put them back into local language. This reduces the need for local language speakers or for paying for expensive translators. The country templates that I referred to are updated on a regular basis for regulatory and other changes. For example, if the underlying XBRL gets updated, we update the template for that. So reducing the need again to rely on advisors or team members who are already busy trying to keep across all these changes. Utilising technology can dramatically reduce the time it takes to prepare your financial statements. So in our templates, there are standard disclosures, and these, along with any changes you need to make or additional disclosures you need to add, can be linked to source data. As an example, when you're setting up your templates, and I will come on to explain the templates in a moment, you can map your general ledger codes as a one-off exercise. When you then upload your trial balance into your entities, it automatically populates all the primary statements and the disclosure notes with that information. Also, if you were disclosing, say, turnover figure in the strategic report, and it's in the middle of a sentence, this can also be linked. So if then a journal is posted which impacts that turnover, the turnover number would automatically get updated, even in the middle of that sentence. So it's much easier, it's less time consuming, and way less risky than trawling through a set of accounts trying to update everything manually. And to this point here on the right, we also have standard work papers For an example, an extended trial balance. So we have some standard journal classifications, but you can add your own so that your ETB flows and reflects the various adjustments as you need it to. Now, our customers have confirmed how utilising technology has helped them, and Jigna's just going to talk through this.
So before I go into how the customers are using our solution, I just want to share that normally what I see the process looks like. So normally when I'm working with the clients, the process, they're using Excel and Word-led process to produce your account. Now this normally starts with the roll forward of the Excel and Word documents. You know, and this itself is actually quite a manual process, time consuming. As for example, in Excel, the formulas, cell references all needs to be checked. The Word document needs to be updated with the latest regulatory changes. The numbers are then fed into these documents. Now they then become deliverable to the auditors. And normally as part of the review process, more adjustments needs to be put through all these files again. Now, this is what we've done is we've done a survey that how many iterations our clients go through before the whole process gets signed off by the auditors. And on average, there are 8 iterations. Of course, depends upon the complexity of your account. Now, you can see this process needs to be followed for, this is only for one entity, but if you've got multiple entities, it has to be followed multiple times. So the whole process over here is quite inefficient. The process has not been standardized because each preparer has got own way of preparing the set of accounts. Again, it lacks version control as well. In addition, if you need to tag your reports or need translation, there is an additional cost as well. So Bryony, I know that you've been talking to the customers recently, and I wonder if you would like to share their thoughts on this.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to kind of reiterate what Jigna was just saying from my discussions with customers, I was talking to a large MNC the other week, and even as a large MNC, they did have manual processes very much based around Word and Excel. But they were explaining that people within the finance teams, each person did things slightly differently. There was no standardization. The journals were recorded in spreadsheets, but there could be issues over who had the most up-to-date version of the journals. Had they actually been posted through the accounts? Who had the latest version of the accounts? And this is because everybody was doing things separately on their own computers. And they even had issues once the accounts had been completed, as team members would then store the final accounts in a file on their own computer. And therefore, if that person went on holiday or left, it was then just a nightmare to try and track down the accounts and the supporting information.
Yeah, thanks, Bryony. Absolutely. So now we'll see how we can automate the whole of the preparation cycle by using the data, the trial balance data from the ERP system. So starting from the left, the starting point is getting that trial balance data into the tool by using the input wizard. Once that data comes in, straight away, you'll be able to see year on year, all of the financial statements for each of those jurisdictions, they all will be prepared as well. In addition, what you will also get is a number of audit working papers, which will help you with your audit review process. And in those jurisdictions where we have tagging, you will get fully tagged as well reports as well. Now, this automation is actually possible because of that inbuilt mapping, which you see in the middle. This is a one-off exercise which you will need to do in the first year when you set up. And year on year, this is what drives the automation. Again, as Bryony mentioned earlier, if you have any adjustments to post, you can post those adjustments within the tool, and we've got audit report to show you how the numbers are moving. You can use the pre-built templates because they're all GAP compliant. You can use this out of the box, or if you need to customize, you can customize it for any of your industry specific requirements. So you can see that by using OneSource, so a statutory reporting solution, the accounts are all produced in a standardized way, giving you the visibility, the control, and making the process very efficient. Now, Bryony, please could you go through how our templates work?
Yes, absolutely. So part of the standardization is driven through this template hierarchy that you can see here. So we produce our Thomson Reuters template. This is the one that we keep up to date for you. Now, this has our standard disclosures in it, but you need to develop an organizational template because there may be changes that you need to make to add your own disclosures. For example, if there are specific disclosures required for your industry. And as Jigna said, you would also do the mapping of your general ledger codes as well. This template is then published as your organisational template. And it is this that then drives the use to produce all the entity accounts. You can obviously make changes at the entity level as well if required to ensure the necessary disclosures are made. And what we find with a number of our customers is that they get their auditors to review the organisational level template to get their sign off, as it then reduces the review time of the entities themselves. So these are the countries that we cover. But for customers that require accounts in countries that we do not have on this list, you'll see halfway down that second column that we have a global IFRS template. And this can be customized for any jurisdiction whose reporting is underpinned by IFRS. Or they can use one of the existing templates that's here. For example, we have a number of customers with entities across sub-Saharan Africa, and they use the South African template as the basis for those other countries. And these customers work with our professional service team or other implementers such as BDO to assist them. So to summarise, why is it beneficial to use one-source statutory reporting? Well, as we've said, it's cloud-based and therefore has all the connectivity enabled by that cloud technology. As we've highlighted and you've just seen, we have content across numerous jurisdictions to keep you compliant. And to support team members who do not have local language skills, we have translation. And to ensure that appropriate access is given to users, which can include your auditors, we have granular user permissions. So you can restrict where necessary who can do what and who has access to which entities.
Absolutely. And as seen earlier, OneSource statutory reporting solution is part of the OneSource platform, which is all API enabled, helping you to reduce the risk and increasing the efficiency in the whole process. Now, we do understand that one size fits all may not work for your organization. So the solution gives you the flexibility with your operational delivery model whilst driving the standardization, efficiency, and control. Now, we have partnership with BDO who can advise you on the best model. Should you utilize a shared service center or a center of excellence, or maybe a hybrid approach. We provide you with the technology platform, and BDO can actually give you that expert advice and help you implement this with the best practice.
And we also have functionality to support you in your work, such as you can see here across this bottom line, we have document storage, so you can add information in support of a journal, for example. You can add review comments in support of your review process. And there is also a very detailed audit trail to support your governance. So as you can see who did what and when, if required. And we continue to build out functionality in response to customer feedback. And in the next couple of months, we're going to be launching our cloud-based workflow product that will be integrated with statutory reporting. Now, you've heard from us about why we think one-source statutory reporting is such a great application to drive efficiency and improvements through the statutory accounting process, but we are obviously a little biased. So I just wanted to leave you with some customer comments to back up our story. Now, these are just some quotes that were taken from an independent interviews that were carried out by Forrester from an impact study we commissioned that was published last month. Thank you very much, and back over to you, Ian and Matt.
Thank you, Brian and Jigna. That was excellent. Really appreciate you taking us through that. Couple of quick comments from me, and then obviously if anybody does have any questions, please do pop them in the chat, and Brian and Jigna will be delighted to answer those. But really appreciate you taking us through that. I think what always impresses me is the kind of the range of countries that the Thomson Reuters product has. It also, I guess, it's for those organisations that are just looking at something for the UK, it still does do the individual countries well, but it's that kind of breadth that's there that does make it stand out in the market. Just the last kind of comment from me was around the kind of making tax digital side of things. I know you've heard from me on a number of these webinars around that interconnectivity, and I think as the UK is going to be seeing the 2024, probably delayed to be fair, but the 2024 introduction of the pilot for MTD for CT, we're going to see the statutory financial statements and the corporate tax returns coming together a lot closer. And I think that's where we're seeing a lot more push for that digital audit trail, that digitisation, so that the connection between the stats and the audit adjustments and the corporate tax returns, because there isn't going to be months and months at the end of it to be able to kind of handle that type of thing. So I think organisations are generally looking at these types of tools. I think the Thomson Reuters one is a very good offering to kind of look at. So Bryony and Jigna, thanks ever so much for your time. I don't appear to have any questions coming in from today's audience. Last chance for any questions directly to the team. If we don't get any through, we will be sending out an invite for a deep dive follow-up with Bryony and Jigna, where we'll have a bit more time to get into this tool in a bit more detail. We'll take us through the solution in real time. So I'll look out for that invite and that email shortly after this. But if there aren't any more questions or comments from anybody, I think we will close today's session and let you enjoy the rest of your day. So just from me, it was thank you very much for joining. I hope you enjoy this content and these short form introductions to the various products and solutions that are out there. If you do have any suggestions on the types of vendor, the types of solutions you'd like to see, please do let me know. And just finally to say thanks again to Bryony and Jigna and Matt for taking us through their thoughts today. So appreciate it, everybody, and have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.